When praise becomes a double-edged sword, wrong praise. Big trouble. Hello everyone. Today I want to share something really honest. Something so relatable that I think every parent out there has experienced at some point. It's about the praise we give our kids. Sounds simple, right? Who doesn't want to praise their child to make them happy? To boost their confidence? But, oh my goodness. Sometimes those very words of praise can unintentionally hurt our kids. Make them more fragile, and we don't even realize it. I came across this amazing article by a parenting expert, and I want to tell you about it in my own words. With all my emotions, like I'm chatting with a friend. First, let me give you the big picture. Praising kids too much can make them think life is always going to be a piece of cake. That they don't need to try hard to be celebrated. But then, when they grow up and face real challenges, they're not ready to handle them. And there's more, sometimes they feel empty inside, unsure of themselves, because the praise we give doesn't match who they really are. Plus, if we meddle too much in their lives, they miss out on the chance to feel proud of themselves. Shocking, isn't it? Okay, let's dive into the details now. Why do parents tend to overpraise their kids? Alright, let's start by looking at why we, as parents, often go overboard with praise. This part really hit me hard because it made me reflect on myself. Do we sometimes look at our kids and think they're superheroes? In today's competitive world, where everyone's racing to prove their child is the best, it's so easy to get caught up in that. We call them geniuses. The greatest. But honestly, sometimes we exaggerate a little. Our intention is to build their self-esteem, to make them feel loved. But the way we do it might set them up to struggle with challenges or failures later on. We think more praise equals more good, but it can actually make them more vulnerable. And here's something else that tugged at my heart. Have you ever wondered if we're praising our kids not just for them, but for ourselves too? I grew up in a childhood where I didn't get much praise or recognition. So now I want my kids to have everything I missed out on. Or maybe we praise them to keep them happy, to avoid their tantrums, to be the cool parent they adore. Sometimes, by calling them talented, amazing, extraordinary, we're secretly trying to boost our own self-worth. It sounds a bit funny, but it's also kind of sad, right? I bet a lot of us have been stuck in this cycle without even realizing it. How does misguided praise affect our kids? Now, I want you to listen closely to this part because it's where I realized how our praise can leave lasting effects on our kids. It's not as harmless as I used to think. Picture this. If we keep showering our kids with praise, saying, "You're so great. You're number one," for every little thing they do, what will they think? They'll start believing life is super easy, that they just need to do a tiny bit and everyone will cheer for them. But life isn't like that. As they grow up, they'll face bigger hurdles, and if they don't have the grit to push through, it's heartbreaking. We think we're encouraging them, but we might actually be making them weaker. Doesn't that sting a little? And there's more. This one really haunts me. When we praise them too much and it doesn't match who they really are. How do you think they feel? They get confused, unsure of their real abilities, wondering if they have to be perfect to be loved. And when they feel insecure like that, they stop trying. They hesitate because they don't trust themselves, or they're scared of failing. All we wanted was to make them confident, but instead, we might be stealing their confidence away. Oh, and one more thing. If we're always jumping into everything they do, from homework to playtime, what happens? They feel suffocated, pressured, maybe even bored with things they used to love. I used to think stepping in was a sign of love, but it turns out it can rob them of their natural joy. See how a little misstep in praising can push our kids away from us. What can we do to encourage our kids the right way? Okay, by now you're probably thinking, so what do we do about it? Don't worry, I asked myself the same thing. And luckily, I found some ideas that I think are worth trying. Let's go through them together. First off, we need to stop labeling our kids with praise. Calling them a genius or a prodigy sounds impressive. But it's not real. It's more about what we want than who they are. And when they hear that all the time, they start thinking they don't need to work hard because they're already amazing. Then, when they fail, it hits them like a ton of bricks because they weren't ready for it. Instead, let's try something different. For little ones, we could say something like, "I know putting on shoes is tough, but I'm so happy you kept trying and got both of them on yourself." It's simple, honest, and shows them effort matters. Next, I want my kids to feel independent, to discover their own worth. Instead of doing everything for them, I'll watch what they enjoy and gently nudge them to keep going. If they struggle, I won't rush in to fix it right away. I'll cheer them on to stick with it. I want them to learn that success isn't instant, but when it comes, they'll feel so proud. Imagine your kid finishing something on their own and running to tell you with a huge grin. How amazing would that feel? Lastly, I learned something wonderful from a 2005 study. It said kindness is the key to good health and happiness. Instead of just praising them, let's give them chances to help others, like doing small acts of kindness or joining a volunteer event. When they see they can make a difference, their self-esteem grows, and that positivity spreads. I think this is the kind of parenting that lasts. It helps our kids grow into good people and makes us happier too. Wow, talking to you all about this feels so good. It's like a weight off my chest. I've realized being a parent isn't about praising our kids all the time, but about praising them in a way that makes them strong and truly confident. What do you think? If you've got any stories of your own, I'd love to hear them. Don't be shy. Thanks so much for listening to me today.